Hello everyone, a warm welcome to yet another edition of Your Image, the only public relations program on television in Africa. My name is Dari Folare. Today, we are discussing a very germane issue, the unbundling of mass communication, the pros and cons. And I have with me juggernauts in the field of mass communication studies. I have the rector, DS Adegbenro Polytechnic, Itori, Dr. Goke Rauf. Dr. Rauf, you're welcome to the program.
Thank you very much. Good afternoon, viewers.
I also have with me another juggernaut, a veteran, a man who served the Nigerian Television Authority for many years and is retired and is now gone into academics. I speak about Dr. Demolu Okuneye. Dr. Demolu.
Thank you so much. Nice being here.
Okay, let's start with you, Dr. Goke Rauf. You know, we were in the College of Mass Communication in Ogupoli in those days.
Yeah.
And we used to enjoy these varieties that mass communication gives. What informed this unbundling? What informed it?
Well, let me start by saying that, of course, the world itself is actually undergoing changes.
Okay.
And the changes are such that so many things have to really move with it. There's also the need for us to look at explosion in population.
Right.
And the new technologies are also there. So when you look at all of this, you really want to ask yourself, what exactly are in it for all manners of professions and the rest of that.
Right.
And I tell you that mass communication is not the first to be unbundled. The global challenges that we have dictates that new areas must be looked into.
Okay.
Unfortunately, many people were getting more exposed to the world. As at the time that unbundling will start in Nigeria of mass communication, it was discovered that so many of the areas that were under mass communication had started to stand alone in universities across the world. For example, as at that time we had BSc advertising, BSc public relations happening in so many clans. And the likes of Professor Ido Shobali, who pioneered it, who initiated it, unbundling.
Yeah.
Incidentally, was a commissioner in Lagos State the Lagos State government, and initiated the first move in the year 2001. In fact, he wrote the paper. And of course gave it to the University of Lagos State University. And the Lagos State University is on record to have started the unbundling in 2001.
Amazing.
Introducing 7 programs, 7 courses. But by 2004, the NUC felt this was not a template that we recognized.
And
so the push and shove also started, and at the end of 2004, they reduced the programs on mass communication studies to 3. So, in fact, LASU started with School of Communication. They didn't start with Department of Mass Communication. They started with School of Communication. So by 2004, they turned it into 3. No, 2007, they turned it into 3. So 7 to 3.
Oh, incidentally, hold your thoughts at this stage. Let's engage Dr. Okuneye. Doctor, you know, it feels like we are being shortchanged. You know, those who studied everything together, you know, we could be jack of all trades and master of many. What do you feel? Do you feel that is the education complete when it's been unbundled?
Well, I just want to still follow the trend he had started, especially when he mentioned Professor Shogowale.
Shogowale.
That's one man that had actually made a lot of influence when it comes to mass communication in this country. But then you must also give kudos to two other personalities. Talk about Professor Layo Osho, the late Layo Osho, and Professor Umaru Pate, because these were the people that actually pursued this to this present stage. There was no doubt that mass communication actually built, or has always been building, practitioners totally in terms of skills, in terms of opportunities, in terms of professionalism. And one thing you will also look at is most of the products of mass communication, there's nothing you tell them to even discuss about they do not have the capacity or the ability to do. It's like you are exposed to almost everything.
Or the government.
But then when you take a look at this, it's like also shortchanging the practitioners because you realize that the opportunities in the different categories or different courses that are emanated from this actually go deeper than what we're experiencing in mass communication. Because one way or the other, our activities had always been try as much as possible to do the surface, make the students to actually garner enough knowledge. But this time around, where you're having areas of specialization, like broadcasting, advertising, public relations, and those stuff, actually make you to now go deeper and understand what you're actually talking about, a professional to the core. You realize that one way or the other, almost on an everyday basis, changes are occurring in the world. You talk of technology, you even take a look at AI and what is happening. Everything is changing. And then when you are having a restricted area of specialization, it gives you that enablement in terms of knowledge, in terms of ability, and the fact that you can actually touch the world. There's nothing as good as when you are actually having a profession and you fail to touch humanity and make those changes. Don't forget that in the past too, just as you had said, that it's not just the first to talk about areas of specialization. You talk about, even when you take a look at other professions, like the police. You know, police was always in charge of almost everything. But when the unbundling started in the area of police, you now saw the immigration, the DSS, the EFCC, the NCDC, everybody is now, and most of them are having their concentration, and they're also specializing and practicing in such a way that they are making that impact, not only on humanity, but the countries too. And so this is one of the areas we can actually look at.
It is often said that change is the only thing that is permanent in life. Doctor, how are you ensuring that the students get full value, for mass communication? Because we had opportunities. We could go into about 7 professions,
Well, there are 2 approaches that the 2 brands of institutions that offered mass communication are using. In the university, you find that people are allowed to take courses,
elective courses,
in various other
arms of
communication. And to that extent, if you are specializing in broadcasting, for instance, you still will have the opportunity of taking advertising, public relations at one level or the other, so that you don't get too much exposed to one aspect of the mass communication. In the polytechnic sector, the fear, which had been raised by some people about the challenges that this unbundling actually posed, was that if you now say everybody should specialize from first year, you are actually pushing the tendency of obliterating mass communication itself. And you're also probably making it difficult for the students to understand, to have a broader knowledge of what mass communication entails. And to that extent, the MBT insisted that Okay, let me say we insisted because I was part of the people that actually started it in 2022 at Nekede in Warri. The fear was that we really cannot afford to simply just throw mass comm out. So I said, okay, it still remains mass communication at ND level.
Okay.
So when you have graduated as an ND at ND level, mass communication,
HND,
then of course HND level, you have 3 areas of specialization. The 3 areas are strategic communication,
right,
which covers PR, advertising, development communication, which the 3 of which are on their own in the university curriculum. Strategic communication covers all of this. Then of course the second one is film and multimedia studies, which you also have at the university level, and this also covers film and multimedia, and then information and media studies at the university level. And then the third one, of course, is journalism and media studies. Journalism and media studies now covers journalism itself at both levels, at broadcast and print level. Understand? So, and of course, we have all of this in the university curriculum too. So it's a blessing. It's a blessing. It's a blessing. For look at the fact that every system, the university, the polytechnic, talks about carrying capacity.
Right.
Whereas in the university, they will say, okay, maybe 100, maybe 150 or 200. At the polytechnic level, they say for technological courses, you have 40. Because of the need to simply just get yourself involved in practicals. And such that the technologists will be able to simply just see what you are doing and give you adequate training. So if you have 40 for mass comm, then of course you are changing, you are making it difficult for other children who want to go to school to come to school. But with this new arrangement, you have 7 programs in the university. So if the carrying capacity for one program is 7, it means that of course you now have 700 students, 700 students studying, and so you have opened for more students to simply more of the children to have opportunity to go to university, to go to polytechnics and all of that, at least acquire knowledge. So that's also there.
You're watching Your Image, the public relations program on television, and we're discussing the unbundling of mass communication. Dr. Adeneye, Ademolu, there is a case in a university where students are running away from print. You know, a colleague of mine was just discussing it. They have no students interested in print. All of them are running to public relations and advertising. In this kind of situation, what do you do?
Well, there is no doubt that print is actually having that challenge. And,
it's happening too in your own university?
When you see, when you ask students areas of specialization, most of them rarely talk about print. And I think the interest they have is more of what is actually happening today. Even the practitioners in print actually have some challenges because the social media or the digital media is actually transforming patronage, patronage, and it's actually a very big challenge. And but one thing that is happening is such that the unbundling actually gives that room for opportunities. And with that, and don't forget that just while we were talking the other time, I wanted to talk about the fact that like the first year, most students are exposed to almost all sides of mass communication. And that is for them to be able to have the knowledge of what they're actually into. And by second year, you are being prepared to start preparing for areas of specialization. And this is where the restriction is now coming in: strategic communication, development communication, and advertising and those stuff. And this is a particular challenge, especially because of the younger ones who feel that they must actually belong. Right. And this is one area that's, but from the foundational level, that knowledge acquired actually makes it for them to actually practice as a print journalist. Mm-hmm. So they always have this impression that with this they can always come in anytime. But what are the opportunities available in other areas? And so we try as much as possible to encourage all of them to actually go into...
Have a taste of a bit of
exactly. Okay. And so with that knowledge acquisition, they are always ready for the world outside.
It is interesting that this November, press, that is the media, is marking 166th year. And it all started here in Abeokuta. Dr. Rauf, how do you feel about that? 166 years of practicing journalism
in Nigeria,
which started in Abeokuta with
of course, that the 166th year would be December 3rd. December 3rd this year. That was when the day Iweroyin actually started in 1859. In 1859. And it was 100 years after that that television started in Nigeria.
Amazing.
100 years after that. And about 60 years after the newspaper, that broadcasting itself starting with radio. Ironically, things have changed in such a dramatic way that if you ask yourself why, then it must mean that you are not actually following
the trends. Right.
Because today, virtually everything has become electronic. That's one challenge. And if you go into practical journalism today, you'll find that the newspapers are not selling. They're barely surviving.
What about the online editions?
Just wait. We have the online editions.
Right.
Online editions also have their challenges. They have their challenges. Also, the advertising that actually drives the newspapers and other media are no longer concentrated in the newspapers. So there are serious challenges actually surviving. And that is why today, less than 10% of Nigerian newspapers pay salaries.
Regularly.
At all. What they do now is work and eat. They say, go and sell newspaper. Once you report, and you send in your report, we now count the number of stories that you have, and we pay you.
Is that not an opportunity for them to be more innovative, to come up with various ways of staying ahead?
Staying ahead, the newspapers?
Yes.
Yes, I must tell you that if you don't see what other people are seeing, don't blame them for what they are doing. Basically, don't blame them for what they are doing.
Right.
Look, the challenges are enormous. And that is one. Number two, we're talking about why these children are not picking print. Is that for those of us who mark scripts, sometimes when you mark the scripts, you want to cry. The language, nothing. They even write in short hands for you. Today's young man, young lady, is not interested in writing and all of this.
But why did they want mass communication? If you are not interested in the course, why do you,
90% of them, before people go, pick mass communication because, in fact,
of the grammar.
Most of them, so many of them were picking mass communication because they thought it would lead them to film production and all that. Now you have the digital whatever there, which also helps them. That exactly was why we insisted that film, at the time that we were doing the unbundling, that we said that the film production must be incorporated. And that was why it was even one of the areas at the HND level. So the glamour is what so many people who pick mass communication today just because they want to appear on television.
Amazing. So, Dr. this is a challenge to you scholars and teachers. So what are you doing to make mass communication more interesting, especially print? For the
your emphasis on print, I just don't know whether you are aware of the challenges that the print sector
Yeah,
is actually
he has
experiencing.
itemized that.
Actually, that is what is happening. You know, an editor had told me once that they rarely sell. And they now, as part of their strategies to sell, they now go online.
Okay.
And online, and that's why I'm talking about the fact that the social media has actually taken over generally. There's nobody you see today that is not having a handset,
Right.
and they're having access
Media
to information.
convergence is there.
Exactly. And you realize that the interest of these students or the younger ones is fame, glamour, the fact that I want my name to be heard.
Well, that's not
and
the bad
I
thing.
want my image to be seen.
We also wanted bylines.
Yeah,
we wanted bylines.
Bylines in those days.
Right.
Byline, when you talk about those who will pick newspapers, you ask yourself, when was the last time you bought a copy of a newspaper?
Hard copy.
A hard copy. When was the last
I
time?
usually read them online. I read them online. So in rounding off, because of time, what's your advice to mass communication students out there, you know, who may be watching? So what's your advice to them on how to get the maximum value from this course, this great course?
The course is a great course, like you said. And students must come into it with a mind of actually making a life and a living out of it. What that means is that going into mass communication should not be because I want to have fame, but because I want to make impact. So in whatever area that you must make impact.
Okay.
Because things are different.
Okay.
I remember those days when we were studying mass communication. In my own class, that was the youngest, the class that had the lowest number of students.
Okay.
28 of us.
Okay.
Out of the 28 of us, 25 opted for print. Only 3.
It was the reverse. Okay, Dr. Oku, your advice.
I just feel that one, everybody should see his or her area of specialization as an area to actually make that impact.
Right.
And because then take a look at those who had been before them, who had also made those great achievements in those fields.
Okay.
They should actually aim at also being part of that.
Okay, there you have it. That's the program for today, Your Image. Our guests, Dr. Ralph Buke-Ralph and Dr. Ademolu Okuneye, have agreed that this unbundling is indeed a privilege, is a blessing. We'd like to thank you for honoring our invitation. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Dr.
Thank nice being here.
So until next week, when we come your way again with a fresh edition, this is Dare Folarin saying bye for now.